Aloha, everyone. This is Aya and Marya. We're just popping on here to say happy full moon and partial lunar eclipse.
It's a magical time. We're in this first eclipse of 2020, plus on Sunday, one of the great astrological conjunctions of our generation happens with the Saturn conjunct Pluto, conjunct Sun, conjunct Ceres. And Ceres is a magical part of this conjunction, the Capricorn Council, they're calling it. And Ceres is, of course, the mother of Persephone, so the mother of the one who goes into the underworld. And the mother here now is with Pluto, our like lord of the Hades realms, and Saturn, the great director of all times. And so it's a very powerful conjunction. A lot of big revolutions have started at this time. A lot of wars have started at this time. A lot of people have said enough is enough at this time. And so the energies available are full spectrum as far as beginnings and endings and transforming our relationship to the mother and with the deep subconscious and with boundaries. And there's a lot to be said about this conjunction, but I'm excited that we're taking a moment here to be together on this eclipse, prepping for the conjunction, talking about Hawaii.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Marya. And full moon is always such a beautiful time to just feel into your own power and to feel into your connection to the earth. And it's a great time for beginnings and endings. For me personally, I use this time to just send my prayers out for the things that I'm creating, take time to go inward and reflect and see what wants to move and shift during this next coming cycle. So we're really happy to be here. And Marya, maybe you want to start by sharing a song with us.
Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirit cannot be broken. Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirit cannot be broken. Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirit cannot be broken. Our wisdom cannot be lost, and our spirit cannot be broken. Awaken to your power. Awaken to your power. Awaken to your power. Awaken to your power.
Thank you, Marya. So one of the other reasons why we're here today is because we wanted to share a little bit about our upcoming Prayers of the Womb retreat. It's coming up next month in Hawaii. It's a journey that we started 3 years ago now. So this will be our 4th retreat together. And Marya, maybe you want to start a little bit by speaking a little bit about your work, about what you do with Voice of My Womb and what you bring to Hawaii.
Thank you. I've been cooking inside a body of work called The Voice of My Womb and the Rosebud Arts. And it's a journey to connect with the source of power that the womb carries as far as creativity, as far as incarnating fully into our bodies and as vessels of spirit to be able to go into the world and offer our gifts, our unique souls, our unique genius, and what is the relationship between our voice and our womb, and braiding and repairing and really fortifying the connection of those beautiful parts of our instrument as a way to attune ourselves to how we can really play and show up and make the most of our own creative interaction with life.
Beautiful. Thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
when I first heard about Marya, a friend of mine was taking one of her Voice of My Womb workshops. And the second that I heard the title, I had this intuitive hit of like, oh my God, I need to meet this woman. And she needs to come with me to Hawaii and teach with me. And that was a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember something about the words voice of my womb struck me so deeply, because our womb is this portal that we have to connect with our intuition. It's our creative portal as women. Whether we decide to birth children or not, it's where we birth from. And when I heard the words, voice of my womb, I was like, I just know that we're meant to create something together. And I just had this intuitive feeling. And the very next day I came to one of your shows, Marya, and I remember coming to meet you. And I had this grand plan, like, okay, I'm going to meet this woman. I'm going to feel her out. And I already just know, like, we're going to become friends and I'm going to invite her to Hawaii. And I had this whole like plan and had been praying and, came to your show really late somehow. And I remember walking up to you and you were like, oh my God, Aya, you're here. And you started telling me about how you had been a fan of my clothing line for years. And then the second we started talking about Hawaii, you were like, oh yeah, I've been seeing you doing these retreats in Hawaii for years now. And I've always seen myself teaching at your retreat with you. So it was almost like you saw the future before I did, which was so beautiful.
I love how the mystery works, especially in these powerful womb prayers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I came to your show thinking like, oh, I'm going to magic this woman into working with me. But in fact, you had like already started magicking me years before that. So it's all working out. So, just to speak a little bit, as the womb retreat, it's a retreat that birthed as a collaboration between Marya and I. And it's really combining this deep womb work, connecting to our intuition, connecting to the divine feminine, while we're in Hawaii with the land, with the Aina. We take you guys swimming with the wild dolphins, the wild spinner dolphins. It's really a wild mystery school where we get to learn from nature, from the dolphins and the whales, and then from really the wisdom found in our own bodies. And the part that I bring to it that combines really well with Marya's work is sexual healing, as well as womb awakening. So where Marya works with the voice, I really work a lot with the full body. And to me, our sexual energy is life force. It's the thing that we create with. It's the thing that is magnetic. It's the thing that really makes us alive and vibrant in who we are. And so often we do ourselves a disservice when we think that sexual energy is just the thing that we have sex with. And so many of us have so much shut down and shame around our sexuality. And we don't realize that when we allow ourselves to shut off to that potent energy, that we're actually shutting ourselves down in other areas too. And so in my own healing, my experience is that as I open myself up and embrace my sexual energy, that I'm living more in line with my purpose. I'm going after my desires. I have more pleasure in my life, and I get to have a lot more fun creating the things that I want to create. So that's something that I feel really passionate about awakening and inviting women back into the fullness of your sexual energy and their creative potency.
Thank you, Aya.
Absolutely. So, it's been a few years now that you've been coming with me to Hawaii, and we talked about this a little bit in the last live, but I'm just curious again, like what keeps you coming back to Hawaii? And what keeps you coming back to this retreat?
Well, I love any opportunity to be invited to the magical islands of Hawaii, especially the Big Island. There's this power that's palpable on being on that land, especially because it's an active volcano. And so the land itself is very new. It's new earth, standing on the new earth. And there's something powerful for me in doing voice and womb work. And because my belief is that when we reconnect our wombs to the natural rhythms and cycles of earth, that there's huge healing that can happen collectively, and balancing that can happen with the earth. And so to be in this powerful place where like the voice of the womb of Gaia is right there, like there's this portal into her center, and right there we're being asked to make these prayers. There's something in the alchemy of that's very poetic to my wild soul. So I love being on the land calls. I love also just being with the dolphins too, and having time to get to be with these incredible beings who communicate through holographic sound and image, and attuned to their ways of intelligence, and to feel my own somatic body responding to that kind of intelligent communication and playfulness feels really fun. And then just the community that shows up every year for these retreats are always, it's just so delightful to be with the women and to connect with them. And I'm still connected with women that, you know, we were in retreat together 3 years ago. And it's just, I love to see the community braiding together.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. It's definitely become an ohana, like a family where lots of women keep coming back, and we get to see the same people and grow with them year after year. And I love what you brought up about the Big Island of Hawaii, you know, and for those of you guys that don't know, the entire island is made of lava. And so literally every single step you take, you're placing your feet on fire that's turned to earth. And there is something about this like combustible, creative lava, volcanic energy that's present on the Big Island. And what I've observed in my own life and in the lives of my retreat participants, my friends, my loved ones who have come to Hawaii is that when you come and you're ready, that there's almost like the opportunity for quick and powerful change. And in my own life, I've almost felt as though there's been a quickening ever since I started coming to the islands yearly, where the island just takes me and has her way with me. And so much can shift in such a short amount of time. Yeah. Marya, you mentioned the dolphins a little bit already, but I'd love to hear, like, if you have any stories you want to share from past retreats and past experiences that you've had.
Well, my favorite experience with the dolphins was one of these days where I was like, I've swam enough, they've blessed me enough, and I like was gonna just stay on the boat and chill out. And then all of a sudden I was called like very strongly to get back in the water, and I did. And just as I did, this family of like 4 dolphins, including a baby, came and circled around me. Like I was swimming, and then they were all swimming like toroidal magic around me in every direction, and then like took off. And I was so close to them and with them, and it was amazing. It was such a magical experience.
Beautiful. I love hearing that. And the dolphins actually were my initial inspiration in starting to host retreats in Hawaii. I had felt this long call to host my own retreats. And for like 5 years, I just held on to that call, not knowing where it would be or what I would even offer. And the moment I met the wild dolphins actually in the water, I knew that that was going to be a part of the medicine that I wanted to bring. It's such a rare opportunity to be with a wild creature in their own native habitat. These dolphins are completely wild. We're not feeding them. We're not doing anything to attract them to us. We just go in and they come and swim with us when they want to. And to be able to look a wild dolphin in the eyes, you know, it's such a special experience. And for me, what it's done is really connected me to the animal inside of me, to my own wildness, to my gut instincts, to my sense of belonging, to my animal body. And it's been such a powerful experience that I love being able to share it with you guys. And I really have so many favorite stories to share, but the dolphins in Hawaii are so playful. You know, they've really kind of gotten accustomed to playing with humans. And I feel like the wild creatures, as long as we continually show up and let them know that it's safe to be with us, that there can be this relationship that develops. And in Hawaii, that's such a relationship is formed to the point that the dolphins will sometimes play games with us. So they'll have leaves that they carry on their fins, or on their nose, or on their tails. And they'll swim around and they'll drop the leaf. And I'll dive down and I'll scoop it up and I'll kind of swim with them for a little while. And then they'll slow down and come behind me. And I'll dive down and I'll drop the leaf and they'll come and scoop it back up. And then we'll pulse like that for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes even, just back and forth, playing past the leaf together. And sometimes they're funny too. Sometimes I'll like dive down to go get the leaf and I'll think that I'm about to grab it and they'll swoop in and grab it inches from my hands. And so they're sneaky like that too. And we have a lot of fun just playing and being with them. You know, and so many experiences, like Marya said, of the dolphins in every single direction, zigzagging across from me and sometimes swimming belly to belly with me. Or at one point, there was a dolphin that came and swam right in front of me and sat with its nose in the air, maybe 6 feet from my face, and just sat there staring at me for a while. And we just sat there kind of in this like captivated moment, looking into each other's eyes. And yeah, it's those kinds of experiences that I feel like can change someone's life. And I've seen how impactful their medicine is year after year when I bring people to Hawaii for these retreats. And I love getting to share that experience, and also having it be a symbiotic relationship where we're not just going to try to take or get something from the dolphins, but I really do feel this resonance and their desire to come and be with us, and their desire to come and swim to us and play with us and interact with us. So, I'd also love, Marya, to hear a little bit about the importance of voice work and why you work so much with the voice.
Well, voice is such a magical tool for self-awareness, for creation, for delivering intention and prayer outside of the most inner part of our world, and offering it to interact with everything else that is outside of what is this body. And so there's something really just magical. So first of all, it's a magical thing that I don't totally understand the depths of it, but I keep studying more and more, and I'm like, wow, the voice is so magical. It's like carries this imprint of who we are. And I find that because it has this imprint of who we are, our experiences, what we believe about ourselves, it becomes a really powerful mirror for transformation, where we are withholding truth, or where we are still feeling scared to share our excitement or our pleasure or our emotional experience. It becomes this powerful mirror to learn about who we are and what we are. And when we deliberately take time to nourish and nurture this aspect of our life, of this tool that we have, what I find is that confidence increases, the relationships become healthier. It becomes more possible for someone to describe deliberately in detail what it is they want to create, and it becomes more tangible. And so it's a real tool for manifesting desire and dream and genius. And I know that when we're blocked or we're in withhold because we've had experiences and we don't understand it, it can be very frustrating, and it can cause emotional disturbance and chi disturbance. And then there's this almost like this other layering of like, oh, I'm fine with all of that. And then there's like these personality shells that come over that. And once we start accessing that, these like shells of who we have become to adapt to discomfort start to fall away, and more of who we truly are can show up. And that's really powerful, because I'm a strong stand for beings to arise as who they, and more of their frequency, to embody the truth of who they are, because everyone's a unique individual. Everyone has a perspective that's just theirs, and can contribute a thread to the tapestry of what we're co-weaving together. And when our voice is online and connected to our body and connected to the intelligence of, say, our womb and our heart, we can speak from these sources of power and have so much more clarity in our lives. And so I know for myself, working deeply with the voice as a tool for somatic integration and creative healing has completely transformed every aspect of my life and the people that I work with, and has allowed for just much more freedom and creative expression and pleasure and play and joy and liberating the like fires within. I'm all that.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I really see the voice as the way that we express and show really our authentic selves out into the world, right? So that's why I really love working with the throat and the sexual center together, because it's almost like we create from our sexual energy, and then we express that creation out into the world through our throat. And so there's such a deep connection between the throat and our sacral chakras. And how as we open with our voice, we also open in our sexuality, and vice versa. And so it can be really powerful that we get to play with both of these centers, and just to open and expand and discover more of who we are through these places. I really look at both the voice and the body, and even the time in nature, as portals into our subconscious, portals into our body, and the inner wisdom, the inner power it's also good for going inward and seeing what blocks and what traumas might be there, clearing that out so that we can freely have our energy running through our bodies. And so really this entire retreat, Purrs of the Womb, we give you lots of different gateways back home into your body and back home to yourself. I really look at it as this wild mystery school where we get to learn from all of these different components. And really it's a coming home, it's a remembering, and it's a just a deep connecting and in tune with your authentic essence and allowing it to come out and be seen. So, you know, we would so love for you to consider joining us in Hawaii. We'll be meeting together February 29th through March 5th. If you're seeing this through one of our social media accounts, if you reply yes into the comments below, then I'll make sure to reach out to you and give you some more information, and we can explore if this is a good fit for you. So yeah, I'm curious, is there anything else you want to add or anything else that you're excited about bringing with you to Hawaii?
I'm deeply enriched and nourished by the womb as this seat of personal power, and to be in a healthy relationship to power, it creates so much opportunity. And so I'm excited to bring my curiosity around what is our relationship with power as women, as womb bearers, and what is it to truly be seated in the throne of that, while deeply open and in the heart and just in our magnetism to offer our great gift to this world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Marya. So great being with you here at the full moon. She's now in Santa Cruz. I'm out here in Hawaii already, and it's nice to spend this time with you. And wherever you guys are at tuning into this, I hope that you get to take a moment out in nature to connect with the land, connect in with your own wombs, and feel into what this full moon is moving and breathing into your life this month.
Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you so much. Love you.